The word minimal, 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 minimal. Okay, I know minimal, minimal. No, I don't know. So let's find it. So it's the passive close to the meaning to put it here. So minimal level. So let's read the whole sentence to understand. So mammals and birds in cold environments can increase their metabolic heat production by such as 5 to 5 times above the minimum levels that occur in warm conditions. Most recent, most active, newest, smaller. So many. Yes, many always talks about smallest. Very nice. So the smallest level, the little. Okay, so small. So the word minimal here in the passage is close to the meaning. Okay, small. Go next. In the paragraph 2, the author explains the concept of vasodilation. What's this word? Vasodilation. Vasodilation. What's this word? And vasoconstriction. Oh, big words. So, what should I do? So, let's try to find this word and explain. Okay? So, let's try to find this word. You have 1 minute to find it. Okay? 50 seconds. Forty seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. Time is up. Okay, so let's go here. Yes, we found them here. Now, let's try to read the whole sentence to understand. Now, so sentence starts by here. Humans rely more on a layer of fat just beneath the skin as, yes, insulation. Goosebumps are very nice. Goosebumps. What are the goosebumps? You shiver because of, like, ghosts or something like that, right? Shiver. So goosebumps are visit. Of here, rising left over. Very nice. From our fairy ancestors. Now let's go here. Vasodilation and vasoconstriction are regulate. Okay, regulate. Coming from regulation. Regulate heat exchange and many contribution to regional temperature difference within the animal. For example, heat loss for a human is reduced when arms and legs cool is several degrees below the temperature of the body core, where most vital organs are located. Now, what do we understand from this? Now, it's like this. Now, he talks about two kinds of situations, two kinds of conditions. Just read here. Describing the evolution of our ancestors, give an example of heat loss. Okay, in the explanation. I'm so sorry. Describe the evolution in our ancestors, given an example of heat loss in the extremity. Okay, comparing the process of humans and animals, identifying various type of insulation. Now, did they talk about various type of insulation? No, that's wrong. Comparing humans with animals, did they mention animals here? That's wrong. So here, describing evolution of our ancestors, given an example of heat loss. Now, let's talk about the part here when he talked about ancestors. So, for the ancestors here, he said or have risen left from our ancestors. So he's not talking about evolution. He's talking about that we inherited something. So give an example for heat loss. So for example here, he said, for example, heat loss from a human is reduced when arms, yes, very nice. So he was talking about the example here, so he gave an example about heat. Early regulate in a passage is close to the meaning regulate. Regulate. So protect, create, reduce, control. Now let's put all of these words here and try to do them. So vasodilation and vasocontraction also regulate heat exchange and may contribute to regular temperature. Protect heat exchange? No. Create heat exchange? Maybe. Reduce? Maybe. Control? Maybe. Okay, let's continue. To contribute to regular temperature differences. To contribute to regular differences. So regular, normal. So, and I contribute to regional temperature difference. I'm so sorry. Regional temperature differences within the animal. Regional here means what? Balance. Very nice. So it's balance. So is it create or reduce? Control. Thank you very much. So here it's control. Very nice. So he's talking about control. Now, according to the paragraph 3, why do many marine animals require a layer of blubber? Paragraph 3, so that's paragraph 3. So we have 1 minute to find the information. Read here the answers first. Read the answers like this. Because marine animals have lost their hair during evolution. Because heat is lost in the water twice as fast as in the air. Because dry hair does not insulate marine animals because they are so large that they require for more insulation. Now let's read it here. We have 1 minute. 1 minute. Do it. "45 seconds. 30 seconds. 20. 10. Okay, very nice. So let's find it here. So we talked about the blubber. So let's find blubber here. Blubber, blubber, blubber. Blubber. So let's read the sentence. So hair loss most of its insulating power when wet. Okay. So marine mammals such as whales and seals have a very thick layer of insulation called blubber just under the skin. Marine mammals swim in the water colder than their body for temperature, and many species spend at least part of the year in nearly freezing polar seas. The loss of the heat to water occurs 50 to 100 times more rapidly than heat loss in the air, and the skin temperature of marine mammals is close in the water temperature even so. Now let's read them. Because marine have lost their hair evolution. He didn't say anything about that, so that's wrong. Now, because heat is lost in the water twice as fast in the air. Check from 50 to 100. So it's fast twice. Okay, continue. The dry hair does not insulate marine animal. Marine animal, they don't have a hair. Because they are so large that they require more insulation. He didn't talk about the size because the whale is big, seal is small. So here it's what? Yes. because heat is lost in the water twice as fast as in rain. Got it? The word those in the passage refers to marine animals, core temperature, land mammals, metabolic rate. Okay, so let's find it here in the sentence. That's here. So let's start the sentence from here. And the skin temperature of a marine mammal is close to the water temperature, even so. The blubber insulation is so effective that the marine mammals maintain body core temperature of about 36 to 38 Celsius, with the metabolic rates about the same as those. So with a metabolic, the same as those. So we're talking about what? Metabolic, same as those. Those are metabolic rates. Very nice. So same those of mammals of smaller size. So you're talking about what? Metabolic. So now that we understand how to answer a question and to do these things, so that's the thing. We need to finish a whole exam to get to know what's up. So next. Why does the author mention chickenitis in paragraph 4? Chickenitis, that's the disease. So through metabolic heat production, insulation, and vascular adjustment, birds and mammals are capable of astonishing heat and thermoregulation. Okay, now let's pay attention to something. Let's read for them, because now we understand what this paragraph talks. It's talking about the metabolic heat production. Now let's read this. To discuss an animal that regulates heat well, to demonstrate why chickenitis have to eat so much, to mention the exception of thermoregulation, so to give a reason for heat production in animals. Now let's find chickenitis. 1 minute. 50 seconds. Hmm. 30 seconds. Time is up. Okay. Now, chickenitis. He mentioned chickenitis in paragraph 4. So, yes, full chickenitis. So why? Because he was talking about, okay, for example, small birds full chickenitis, which weigh only 20 grams. The chickenitis, the small ones, okay, the small birds, weigh only 20 grams. So it's birds disease like TB small, weigh 20 grams, can remain active and hold body temperature nearly constant at 40 Celsius. In environmental temperature as low as 40 Celsius, as long as they have enough food to supply the large amount of energy necessary to produce that for heat production. Now to discuss animals that regulate heat well, okay, demonstrate why chickenitis have to eat so much. He said something about have to eat. They have to eat. To mention an exception to the rules of thermoregulation, he didn't mention any exceptions. To give a reason for heat production in small animals. I was talking about birds. So to discuss an animal that regulates that heat very well, to demonstrate why chickenitis have to eat so much. Chickenitis here, yes, to what? To discuss that animals have to regulate. Because that's one of the examples. One of the examples for different animals. Continue. Okay. Paragraph 6. Author states that evaporative cooling is often accomplished by all of the following methods, except by spreading saliva over the air, by urinating on the body, by painting on flirting a porch, by immersing, themselves in water. Now let's go here. Evaporative cooling often plays a key role with certain body heat. Thermometer often is above body temperature. Animals gain heat from environment as well as metabolism as well as evaporation is the only way to keep body temperature from rising rapidly. Okay, panting is important in birds and many mammals. Some birds have pores richly supplied blood vessels. So if we're talking about the first one, metabolism, we didn't talk about it. Now let's talk about the second one. Evaporating is only way to keep panting. So we talked about panting. So panting, see, we have it, so it's not exception. Panting. Some birds have pores richly supplied. Okay, so flirting supplied. So it's not it's not flirting. Very nice. Flirting supply. Very nice. Now richly they blood vessels in the floor. Flirting supplies and penguins have used evaporation to keep the body temperature. Spreading saliva is one of the methods. So that's one, and that's one, and that's one. That will leave us to immersing themselves in water. So the immersing themselves in water to feel refreshed? No, we don't have this. This is not for animals. Because animals might die because of water. Okay? So except immersion themselves in water. He didn't say this. Maybe it's a cooling way. It's a cooling way to cool yourself, but it's not mentioned. Go next. Now, in paragraph 6, the author states the evaporative cooling is often accomplished by all of the following except this, okay? By immersing themselves. The word enhance, what means enhance my language. It's equal to improve. Without looking, sometimes you do it without looking. But is this correct? No. Some people, they know the word and they do it without looking. Is this correct? No. You should know. You should pay attention. Double check. It will take from you 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Double check the thing. So enhance here. So let's find it here. So some bats use both saliva and urinate to enhance evaporative cooling. Enhance. Improve. Okay. A sentence to put. Look at the 4 squares that show where the following sentence could be inserted in the passage. The insulation power of the layer of fur or feather mainly depends on how much still air in the layer graph. So let's find this part. Humans rely more on the layer of the fat just beneath the skin as insulation. So it's close, but we need to focus more. Vasodilation and vasoconstriction also regulate heat exchange and may constitute this effect. Last one. Vital organs are located. Take 1 minute. Okay. So 40 seconds. Hmm. 30 seconds. 20. 10. Time is up. Now, so we want to talk about the insulation power. So I need to follow up the insulation power. So when I talk about here, so here, vasodilation and vasodilation and vasoconstriction also regulate heat. So the insulation power, that's something before. And here in this sentence, it says, for example, heat loss. And for example, here, more vital organs. But here, we will rely more on layers beneath. And when we talk about here more further, yes. So put it here. Before it. It's arrange, the arrangement thing. Okay. So, how to summarize? The same question. Although hair can be very efficient insulation, when it's dry and it can be raised, hair becomes ineffective when it's submerged in cold water. Did he talk about this? Did he talk about cold water or something like that? No. So maybe it's correct, but he didn't say. Doesn't have any support, anything to support. Okay, let's go next. Some animals with few adaptations for thermoregulation migrate to moderate climates to avoid the extreme weather and everything. He didn't talk about birds that much, except the birds you want. Okay. Go for the next one. Mammals and birds use insulation to mitigate. Very nice. To mitigate. Control heat loss. Very nice. Mitigate heat loss, including hair and feather that can be raised to trap air as well as fat or blubber under the skin. Did he mention something like that? Yes, when he talked about whales and other things. So C is in. Some birds have special porch in mouth, very nice, which can flutter to increase the overdisease from as much by 20 Celsius. Okay, he here didn't say that information, like minor point, but minor point on what? In something else. That's the point. Now, that means if A, B, and D were not there, so C, D, E, and F will be. Okay? So, these are 2 readings out of 3. Now, we need to know something important. What's that thing? Now, how to solve these? How to solve them inside the exam? Now, that's the question. Now, I will open the exam on my computer and I'll show you how to solve these, how to be good with this, and how to move this in the exam. Okay? So, give it a second, I will open.
Okay, reading part 2. There seems to be a lot of questions here. So something like 26 questions. Start the clock. And our topic is bird migration. Some species are well adapted to harsh conditions, but those that aren't, move south is advantageous. So, birds moving south, that's migration, isn't it? Current state of research suggests that all the above mentioned methods have an influence on bird migration. So, methods which influence bird migration? Different species use one, some, or even all the methods at different times. Okay. Bird migration, I don't think I need to read anymore. Seems to be very obvious. In paragraph 1, it's understood that some birds don't migrate because they... I think I read that, didn't I? Some species are well adapted to harsh conditions. So... adapted to conditions, suit the conditions. The word those refers to some species are well adapted, but for those that aren't, those species. Some species are, but some species that aren't species. According to paragraph 2, what are the results of changes in the weather? Change in the length of day? What? No, that can't be right. Birds secrete hormones? Maybe. Spend calories? And migration starts? Well, this one seems to be the obvious answer. Anyway, changes in the weather can trigger the start of the journey south. Changes in the weather trigger the start of the journey south. Well, that's that one, no? Oops. That's right, okay. The word accumulate is closest in meaning to... At this time, fat starts to accumulate under the skin, providing energy. Build up, that seems right. Fill in, break up, cut back. Fat fills in under the skin. Accumulate, to build up. All of the migration patterns are mentioned in the passage except migration north from the south, east or west towards mild climates, from mountains to lower altitudes, from east or west towards hotter climates. It seems to be one of these, I mean, I would guess. Patterns, complex. Birds that breed in the south migrate north, south to north. From south to north, yes. Other birds travel east-west, since milder climates can be found in coastal areas, so they're going towards milder climates. Some birds find conditions more suitable at lower altitudes to lower altitudes, so there is your answer. The word precisely is closest in meaning to. Well, I don't know what that means, but let's see if we can... The most mysterious, not understood aspect of bird migration is how they navigate such long distances and arrive so precisely at their destination. So mystery is how they navigate a long distance and arrive so precisely. So finally they arrive so finally? So entirely? What, like only some of them arrives? So decisively, yes, they make big decisions, these birds. I think if you don't know what precisely means, which I think most people do, means exactly, you can just say arrive finally, arrive entirely, arrive decisively. None of these really make sense. So exactly at their destination.